That's impressive. Now do it with your hands. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His weekend show gives you all the news and none of the kill mead. Co-host of Fox & Friends Weekend, Charlie Hurd. This Caucasian goes good with any occasion. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. We couldn't get Will Kane, so here's Todd Pyro. And she went from naughty by nature to balance of nature. Host of Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. Yeah. It's like a white boy summer here, huh? Sorry, Kennedy. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll smear Joe Mackey's ass in peanut butter and send him to the Pride Parade. Probably like that. All right. Who knew? Oh, you're gonna love this. That's right, Pride Month is still underway, which means in New York City, all chalk body outlines will feature jazz hands. President Trump and Elon Musk are feuding after Elon called the big, beautiful bill a mountain of disgusting pork. In Trump's defense, there's nothing in the bill about the view. You see that one coming? Yeah. Yeah, huh? Amazon is testing humanoid robots that deliver packages. Here at Fox, of course, we've been testing humanoid robots for years. Chinese scientists who allegedly smuggled a deadly fungus into America will remain in U.S. custody. And guess who already posted her bail? And guess who already tried to bang her? 1-2 punch. 1-2. According to a new study, hanging out with ugly people can make you appear better looking than you are. Anyway, thanks for being here, Todd. Michelle Obama has a new fashion book coming out. It's a pop-up book. People love pop-up books. Let's see what the fuss is about. According to a new study, 99.99% of the Earth's deep ocean floor has never been seen by a human. The same goes for this guy's penis. According to a new study, there are 36% fewer gay characters on TV. But that'll change with the return of the World Cup. At the Sean Diddy Combs trial, The View's Sunny Hostin says she caught him staring at her. So if you're making a list, he likes seeing people being urinated on and Sunny Hostin. Very short list. Speaking of Sunny, she claims Doge's cuts killed 300,000 people, mostly children, prompting Doge to change its name to Planned Parenthood. A museum in Amsterdam is displaying a 200-year-old condom made of sheep's appendix. Oh, so that's where I left that thing, said one man. A researcher at Tufts University is studying the use of psychedelic mushrooms to treat irritable bowel syndrome. You still yourself, but now you think your poop is your old buddy Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's going on? You owe me 20 bucks. A Florida man has pleaded guilty to stealing 75 neighborhood pool floats, which he used for sexual gratification. It's crazy. Why not just steal one and use it 75 times? Learned that from Kudlow. Dogs can be an official witness at weddings in Colorado. The law would also apply to cats, except the women who own them never marry. Thank you. Oh, boy. Pete Hegseth removed Harvey Milk's name from a Navy ship, as many believe it was only named after him because he was gay. That also may end plans for the proposed USS John Travolta. Jerry Nadler is demanding a probe after the Department of Homeland Security detained his aide. Though the last time he demanded a probe, NASA's Voyager 2 got lost in his ass. Greta Thunberg is sailing to Gaza to give out tampons to Palestinians. Hey, that's my job, said one man. Wow. They're on fire. All right. According to Michelle Obama, producing life is the least important thing the female reproductive system does. Huh. Well, you can say that again, said one man. And finally, Zimbabwe is considering killing dozens of elephants and distributing the meat to its people. Coincidentally, the State Department is warning Joy Behar to avoid Zimbabwe. Those were good. That was a good bunch. So what a feud between Trump and Musk. It started when Elon called Trump's big, beautiful bill a disgusting abomination, which, by the way, was the original title for a Jesse's show. But after that, things went downhill faster than Taylor Swift once she hit 30. I know, really let herself go. And I have to say, they're making all of us billionaires look bad. Seriously, the last time people aired out that much dirty laundry was Jerry Nadler's staff after Taco Tuesday. But the Dems and the media are in a state of shock. Wait, you guys disagree? Over principles? Out in the open? In front of the American people? Gross! Why don't you do what we did? Agree to a massive backroom cover-up to conceal our horror show of a presidency. Sure, that put our nation at risk, but no one's gonna laugh at us. And then later you can write a tell-all book that implicates yourself when he's out of office. So yeah, I'll take this public tussle over the cover-up of a missing president. With the Trump White House, we know what's going on behind the scenes because there is no behind the scenes. Like Brit Hume in a Speedo, they're showing way more than we need to see. Trump wants the tax cuts he promised, while Elon is really pissed about the bill's lasting impact. But the Dems, it's not about which side is right. To them, what's right never factors in. It's just politics to them. So while this tiff is passionate, it's also authentic and brave. Two things the Dems aren't. Musk is risking it all because he believes in something. Trump has proven he'll risk his life for all of us. This is a patriot speaking truth to another patriot, not lying or hoaxing or deceiving Americans simply to hold on to power. But the media shrieks because this behavior is so alien to them. As cowards, they don't get the concept of fighting for principles. But look, no one wants to see these guys at war. If Kilmeade and I can work together, so can they. Don't let a self-inflicted wound ruin progress for millions of Americans. Remember, the mission is always bigger than the relationship. And part of that mission is Doge. And through Doge, the president and Elon showed how our taxes are being laundered to support illegal left-wing causes, and revealing bureaucracies like USAID to be as corrupt as my computer files after I clicked that email link about Korean teens. In other words, all of us should remember that the goal is the product, and it's one that can live forever. It's like when David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen had their falling out. Sure, he had to deal with Sammy Hagar for a while, but the magic that Dave and Eddie created, it lives on forever. Even today, if you hear Hot for Teacher in a bar, you'd bang Mrs. Doubtfire. So Trump and Musk, we need them as a team for the sake of our country's future. And they both need to admit the amazing work they've already done and that there's much more work left to do. And every second they spend infighting is a chance for AOC to look slightly less retarded. So I hope this gets settled. But if it doesn't, we will lovingly accept that such disagreements are aired out in the open. We voted for it. And unlike the Dems, we'll take a feud over a fraud any day. All right, Charlie, how big is this story? Is it a big story or is it a summer fun story? Where do you see it going?
I think it's all of the above. I think the most important thing is what you said, which is it's all happening out in the open. You've got this. It's sort of like the two gladiators going at it at the Roman Colosseum. The two greatest people on Twitter going at it in just like monstrous fashion. And I love that it's out in the open, and I love that it's really freaking entertaining. And by the way, how did anybody think this was going to end any other way? Of course you were going to get this. And it is honest. People are asking, is this thing staged? It's not staged. That said, I think that they could sort of patch up very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that the fissure between the two is that you have Donald Trump, who is in his second term, and he's operating as trying to like make the system work. Elon Musk is still the barbarian at the gate that Donald Trump was. Donald Trump is now past the gate trying to make it work, and Elon is still the barbarian at the gate saying, you can't do this because it's so bad. And it's like, dude, have you ever seen a bill get put together? It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Of course it's disgusting, but there are good things in it, and Trump wants to get that done. Of course, at the end, I do want to see him get back together.
Yeah, it's like Musk thinks, if you can build a rocket, you got to be able to do this bill. But a bill is harder than a rocket, sadly.
Yeah, so Trump is an executive, and that's why he's very good. He's not a legislative guy.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk is something like executive squared. He's like, he truly does, he just off the top of his head gets things done. And it's got to be so frustrating, but, that is kind of how the legislative process works.
Yeah, it sucks. Tom, Charlie makes an interesting point. Like, the saying is a bull in a china shop, not two bulls in a china shop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people saying today, oh, I hope they patch this up. I don't even know if they need to patch it up. I mean, Elon Musk is not in government. He needed him for a while, and he seemed to be having a lot of fun on the campaign trail. And even Elon said, he said, look, Trump's not perfect, but we need him right now. He said, this is desperate. And so him and all his tech bros were like, Trump's not our favorite guy in the whole world, but we absolutely need him. So he's out of government now. He's not in Doge. So why can't Trump just feud with him for the rest of his life? It doesn't really matter. And Trump, he seems to get along with people that he disagrees with. He gets along, as he says, with Putin. Or he talks about Xi. He went to North Korea. So Trump can get along with people. He could still cut deals with him. He doesn't have to be buddies with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, does this make Trump look so reasonable? I thought Trump was an impulsive tweeter.
Yeah.
Trump was like...
Yeah, he's the cooler head that prevails.
Yeah.
It's a new role for Trump.
Trump was like, oh, yeah, Elon is wrong. And Elon was like, I'm leaving the planet, Epstein Island.
Todd, let's pretend people listen to you.
Sure. Suspend disbelief for a second.
Yeah. What advice would you give could you give any advice?
Can I give advice as a human?
Yeah.
Yes, my 47 years on this planet have allowed me to give advice. My advice would be, I think they both need to go to their corners, figure out why they're upset, take a deep breath, and then ultimately get back. Because if you look at Trump's history, Trump feuded very publicly with the entire 2016 Republican primary field, said really mean things about them, like Ted Cruz, serial killer, things like that. And now they're all under the Trump tent. Lindsey Graham, I mean, you remember like, hey, I'm going golfing with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's the worst human ever. And then they're going golfing again the next week. I agree with Charlie that it's bigger than this time. And the egos here are two of the biggest egos that you've ever seen. But I think it'll get back.
I don't think this is an ego thing. I think that Musk really believes that the world is going to collapse if he doesn't get.
But I think both can be true.
Yeah.
I think absolutely both can be true. I guess my favorite part of this entire story is this. Let's say Kennedy and I want to engage in a social media feud. I don't know, perhaps over the fact that on the last Gutfeld, she called me not a real Fox and Friends anchor. Call back. We go on a social media platform and we attack each other. These two bought their own social media platforms to attack each other. Like Trump's on True Social. It's mine, I'm gonna do it. And like Elon Musk owns X. And that just shows, I think, the stakes here and how this is so much bigger than I think we can even understand. But that's what also makes it, to a certain extent, funny. And I think to a certain extent, sort of interesting to shine a light on how our world works right now, which is just kind of ridiculous, but we're all along for the ride, so here we go.
Oh, so Kennedy, the ride's about to end.
Yeah, it's been a great ride.
People
don't want to get off.
Yes, yes.
You know, if they do want to get off, they'll come to New York for the Pride Parade, I guess.
Yes.
I'm so deeply amused by how quickly this escalated. And it's like, we're not going to use your rockets. Like, I'm decommissioning my rockets. Like, it's reminding me of Step Brothers, and I'm just waiting for Elon to rub his balls all over Trump's drum kit.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. Like, it's weird to see two billionaires act like each one trying to up the other ante.
Yeah.
You know?
You went to Epstein. It's like, how do you walk back from that?
Yes.
That's it. Like, I'm sure they could just pick up the phone. It's like, no, Elon Musk wrote himself an insurance policy to make sure that this is an unhealable rift for whatever reason. And I think you're absolutely right. Like, he feels like he's like, I left my companies. Tesla's in the gutter. I came and did this because it's so incredibly necessary. And finally, I have a politician who's listening to me. And then he just turns his back on me and he shivs me with a bill that's just going to add to the debt. And this is horrible.
Yeah.
So it's a slap in the face.
All right. Before we go, come see me on tour. This weekend, I'll be with some nobody named Tom Shalhoub. And the great Joe Mackey in Grand Rapids. You get 3 for the price of 1. That's Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then the next day, Rockford, Illinois. In September, I'll be in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and then later in the year, Arizona and Texas. Go to ggutfeld.com for tickets.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.